Hey everyone! Thank you for jumping on tonight. I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit about what life looked like before I started this job. I am a former teacher. I have a special education background, and my undergraduate was actually in speech and hearing, and then I went and got my master's for special education. Through that process, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Like, what did I want to do for the rest of my life? And it just seemed like the best job for moms is to be a teacher, right? Because you have this beautiful schedule. You get summers off, you get holidays off, you get all the perfect things, right? So we thought. So I started teaching, and my first year of teaching, I found out I was pregnant. So my very first year of teaching, I also went into a new job with a new baby. And so I had her at the end of the school year, and it was a great first year. It was such a great year. But then I had my baby, and my heart started to change a lot. And then if any of you are out there that are teachers, you know that your whole day is dedicated to taking care of these kids. And there are a lot of people out there that truly have like what they need to be a teacher. But for me, it was really hard to be a teacher all day and then come home and be a mom too. It was just hard. I felt very divided. I missed my baby a lot. And so that was my first year of teaching. My second year of teaching, I missed her so much. And my husband was in the oil field. And so even though that was a really great income, he wasn't around a lot. And so not only was he not around a lot, I was working throughout the week. And then I would have these weekends off, and he would still be working. And so life was just really hard. If I'm just being totally honest, the money was decent, but life was hard. So fast forward to when I started the products for Plexus, I did it really selfishly for myself. We were going through secondary infertility, and I started them for hormone health and fertility and just wanting to feel better. And I have to be honest with you guys, like, I signed up, number one, without telling my husband. And then when I did tell him, he was like, all right, Vicki, like, we can't afford this. Like, you need to figure out a way to pay for it. And so I was at a crossroad. I was like, I'm feeling really wonderful. And what am I going to do to be able to still take these products? So I put a couple posts up on social media. And that's kind of when this journey started. I started sharing while I was still teaching. So I wanted to kind of share that part of it with you, because you can do this if you're a teacher and you're still teaching. I would use my preps because I was pretty prepared for my day. So I would use my prep time, my lunch time. I would not go to the teacher's lounge. I would stay in my room and work a little bit. And then I would go home and be with my family, put my daughter to bed, and then work a little bit more. So it is possible to do while you're teaching. But then the school year came, and it was over, and we've been doing a lot of praying, and our family decided to move back to Colorado. I'm from Ohio, and we used to live in Colorado, so that's a story for another day. But we moved back to Colorado, and my husband went still in the oil field, and I was at a crossroads of trying to decide, do I go back into teaching and send my daughter to daycare, or do I stay home and try to pursue this business? And I shared that part of it because we live in a very expensive area, and I wouldn't be making enough as a teacher to pay for childcare. So it was more so, do I keep working for that fulfillment of being a teacher, or do I find other ways to help people? And so that is when we really decided that we were going to pursue this like completely. And so when I decided to make that decision, I was pretty much all in. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to make a career out of this. And I started to. It helped pay for our move to Colorado, which if anybody has moved across the country, you know that's not cheap at all. And so that was a huge blessing on top of that. That happened last year. So right around this time last year is when we moved. And again, my husband was back in the oil field, and this worked so much better with his schedule. So much better, because now, like, for example, he's home right now. He's taking care of our daughter, and he's off for the week, and I get to be home with him for the week. Like, I get to go into the mountains and do things and play in the snow, instead of if I were working, I would never see him. And so I just wanted to share that part of it with you, because I know there's a lot of you out there with crazy schedules yourself or your husband, or if you're a man, like your wife might have crazy schedules. So I just feel like I really needed to share that part with you. So now I'm a year and a half in, and I'm officially making 2 to 3 times the amount that I was making teaching. And that's huge, because if you are familiar with the education field, there's pretty much a cap that you're going to make unless you go on to be a principal or a superintendent. And most of us don't do that. And granted, we need teachers. And so I want you to know that even if you love teaching, you can still do this while you're teaching. I made it work in the beginning, and I actually think I was better at it when I was working because I was busy. And so it's been such a great blessing to our family. We would not be able to live in Denver without it. We are building a house, and it has provided us a possibility to be able to have a down payment for our house. It has provided in so many ways. And so I just want to leave you with a few unexpected blessings that I had no idea came with this job at all. But some passion of mine is traveling. I've loved traveling my whole life. And in the year and a half that I've been doing this, I have gone to Florida twice. One of those times was completely paid for. I've been to Arizona once, which was also completely paid for. And I'm going again in November for a training. And I love that they do this because they train us. And then I've also been to Maui. And Maui was free, and I will get to go to Maui every year. And so even if you're not about the trips, I want to share with you really quick what that actually means for us as a family. So number one, it has strengthened our marriage totally. Like, we came back from Maui refreshed. We came back happy, excited to be home and be with our daughter. It has helped me as a mom become a better mom, because I need that time. I need that time to refresh and get back to being who I was outside of being a mom. And then it's also just filled that desire of travel in my heart. And so it's just been such a wonderful blessing for our family in every aspect. And the fact that I'm getting to do it right now while my daughter's getting ready for bed, and then I'll get to go lay in bed with her. So I'm so excited that you guys are on here listening, and I hope these stories have touched you in some way, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.